this is Apple's HomePod Mini, and it's actually pretty cool. Now, it was released back in 2021, and I've had this since then, and I gotta say, I'm absolutely in love with this thing. So, it is about the size of a softball, hence why I am literally throwing it around like a softball, but it's actually been great. So, it does have a pretty long cable, so this is about, I believe, 6 feet, and I gotta say, from what I've experienced, it's more than enough, as the HomePod Mini does have a detachable cable in a way. So you can unplug it as it runs on a USB-C cord and a 20-watt adapter, which both are included in the box. It can't be removed from the HomePod itself, but it can be removed from the wall. So this way it'll allow you to essentially sneak it through whatever you'd like. And I gotta say, it's actually been pretty nice as I sneak it through and cable manage it, and then the wire is completely out of the way. But this speaker has absolutely been one of my favorites. Now, from a smart speaker standpoint, it isn't the smartest. It can do essentially everything I'd want, like set an alarm, a timer, control lights, and all of that with a smart home, but it just can't answer basic questions, and that's probably my biggest problem with the HomePod, is whenever I ask our favorite digital assistant, Siri, what's the capital...
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
I didn't even finish my question. It cut me off and said to ask again for my iPhone. But when you're in a room and you ask for, with any Apple products, they essentially try to pick which one you're using and answer from there. Now, 99% of the time, actually, my HomePod Mini is winning. Once in a blue moon, my phone will actually pick up. But when I'm asking a very simple question, like what's the weather, or what's the temperature outside, or what's the temperature in the bedroom, as this does have a humidity and temperature sensor inside it, which allows it to tell the ambient and humidity temperature of the room, which has been pretty nice to have. But other than that, it's so confusing because it can't answer any questions. If you ask a very simple question, like, who's Justin Timberlake? It'll tell you to ask again from your iPhone. Whereas another smart speaker like Google's or Alexa or Samsung's even will tell you who Justin Timberlake is. But Siri just tells me to ask again for my iPhone when I have no choice but of asking from the HomePod, because it essentially picks over and thinks, hey, you're talking to this one. Which, as I said before, 99% of the time I am. But other than being able to answer those simple questions that I have from time to time, it actually has been a great speaker. So it does have the U1 chip built in. So all I have to do is, if I'm playing music on my iPhone, is just take my iPhone, make sure the music is playing, and just tap it, and it'll transfer it right over, and then you get a little confirmation on the iPhone. And same thing with a phone call or really anything else. Or if you're leaving, you can also do the same thing to make sure that the content isn't still playing when you're leaving the house. We also got an update with watchOS 10.2 to make sure that the Apple Watch does the same thing, and it shows up in the Smart Stack, essentially just when I bring my Apple Watch near it, similar to that of the iPhone, and this is the first time we've gotten it with the Apple Watch, but it's actually been pretty nice to have. And just having it tie into the whole Apple ecosystem has been more than enjoyable, because as someone who has an Apple TV, I can literally tell my HomePod to open YouTube or resume the latest episode of the morning show on Apple TV Plus, or really whatever I want, and it'll turn on the TV and put on the episode right where I am, which has actually been pretty nice to have. And now, the sound quality in this tiny speaker has been great, and if you do have two of them, you can stereo pair them. I only have one, and I haven't stereo paired it, but I gotta say, I'm absolutely in love with the sound quality of just one, but seeing that you could essentially pair it with two, which is something I might want to do down the road, it actually might be pretty enjoyable. Now, this does come in 5 colors. You have white, black, orange, yellow, and blue. I have the white here just because I thought the white one looked the best at the time, you know, and it also matches now my white iPhone. So, seeing that we got a variety of colors in this also shows that Apple kind of wants it to be in essentially anywhere in the house and match any shade. But, as I said before, this thing isn't that smart. But it's a smart speaker because it can't answer any of the important questions that I'm asking. But possibly with tvOS 18 and iOS 18, which is supposed to focus a lot on AI, Siri is supposed to get a lot smarter. So down the road, we'll have to see how smart Siri is going to become. But I gotta say, I'm really enjoying just how well this speaker works, because using other smart speakers, it's always a pain in the butt. You have to tie it into your Apple Music account, you have to tie in all of these things just to make the speaker work the way you want it to. This HomePod Mini, I set up out of the box, I scanned it on my iPhone, said it was in the bedroom, and in a matter of 2 minutes, my Apple Music synced, it connected to the TVs and everything, and you don't really have to worry about it. So, being able to just call people and intercom and really do whatever. Now, this does also have, as I just said, an intercom feature, so you can say intercom everyone and it'll send a message. So, if you go on your iPhone and open the Home app, you'll have a new little button that's up in the top. You could just click on it and say, "Hi, how are you doing? Can you come check on your food?" And then the HomePod's gonna light up any second and say, "Hi, how are you doing? Can you come check on your food?" So it essentially will relay that to anyone in the house whose Apple devices are connected to the Home in the Apple Home app, or anywhere there's a HomePod. And you can pick, if you have multiple HomePods, to intercom to certain rooms, which has actually been pretty nice. And you could play podcasts and do a bunch of essentially simple things with this. But as I just said before, it's very interesting that Apple has kind of limited Siri on this, but if I ask for Siri on my iPhone, it doesn't work the way it works on my iPhone. As if I ask, do this, it doesn't. If I ask a question like, who's this, what's this, it doesn't know. Whereas if I ask on my iPhone, it can tell me. But overall, this HomePod has actually been pretty great to have, as I love the size of it, and the sound quality from it is something that I just can't get over, as it absolutely sounds great, and just the size. Looks literally like a softball with a little flat, and the top is a touchscreen, so you can tap to play, you can press and hold on it to get Siri, or you can raise and lower the volume just by tapping, or you can ask our favorite digital assistant, Siri, to do all that. But I gotta say, I'm not impressed, but I am impressed at the same time, because Siri isn't that great at simple requests, but Siri's also pretty good at basic requests like home, conversions, timers, etc. But let me know what your thoughts are if you've used the HomePod down below with a comment down below, as I gotta say, it's pretty nice. And if you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. But I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.